Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video, which may be the last one shot in this office here. Although I've already talked about that in a video. Oh, shush, what's that? In today's video, we are looking at a MP7. It's a Well MP7, so it's made by a company called Well. I bought this because I wanted to essentially make some parts for it with Project Airsoft, make some MP7 accessories. It's alright, I guess. Like, it's cool in terms of a riff to hold. We'll have a little look at it as a riff to use in Airsoft, and then you'll know if you want to get it for playing in Airsoft. So opening up this wonderful box here, we have got this manual here. I believe this whole thing was covered in plastic. I did open this up originally quite a while ago and had a little bit of a look at it. So I have got a small part of an opinion already for this riff, but I'm going to let you find out along the way what the good things about this thing is. So you get charger in there, you get a battery, which is a 7.2 volt micro battery. It's a NIM battery, which is great. It comes with this carrying strap, a little bag of BBs, and this high cap winding magazine here as well. So you can carry lots of BBs when you go airsofting and shooting at friends with toy guns. These are all toy guns, YouTube. These are toy guns. Also, just before I get this out the packaging, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. You'll love the channel. I do lots of content, and it's fun and interesting and entertaining. So yeah, subscribe. Thank you. I love you. Oh my days, that is heavier than I remember. So this thing, it is on the cheap side. Don't get me wrong. It is quite on the cheap side, which means it's very cost effective, but oh my days, it is so heavy. Like, usually with riffs, you expect them to be like, when they are on the cheaper end of the spectrum, to be light and flimsy and whatnot, but this thing is, oh my god, it is really heavy. Like, it's heavy to the point where if somebody said to me, oh look, this is a real steel one, I would grab it from you and go, oh yeah, that feels legit. But it's not. This is an airsoft toy. It's a toy riff. It's a riff. Your magazine goes in the bottom there, just like so. You got your magazine release there on your little thumb like that, so that goes in quite nicely. It feels really sturdy. You've got this vertical grip at the front there, which doesn't actually lock into place. It just kind of, goes up. So when you use it, you have to kind of push it forward to get a nice grip, because if you pull it back at all, even if you hold this, it still, comes back in. So the vert grip at the front isn't something I'd write home about, okay? You do have iron sights on here, and they're quite interesting because you can use them like low profile, or you can flip them up for high profile. Is that the word there? But I quite like the fact that you can use them low like that, because then to me that's more like pistol-y kind of iron sights, and then this is more like SMG type iron sights. But to be honest with you, who uses iron sights these days anyway? It's either nothing or a red dot sight, and personally I'm more of a red dot sight lover. Yum yum. You've got your fire selector here. You got safe, single, and then full auto there. You have got the retracting stock at the back, so you press that button to get it out like this. And you know what? It feels okay. I'm not a big fan of this kind of like grip feeling. For me, I'm not a big fan of it, but it does that. So if you want something, quite compact and small, then, the riff is good, but then the stock does make it stick out quite far. There's no other locking points for the stock. So it's either like this or nothing. And I think that does take away a little bit from the point of this trying to be compact. Like, if I could lock it in here, I would be happy, because this is quite short and kind of like far enough back where you can get around CQB nice and quickly. This is just, it's quite long, and it makes my arm a little bit tired. You do have a lot of rail space though. You got a rail there, you got a rail there, and you got a full length Picatinny rail across the top there, which is cool. You can put that back in just by putting that in like that. This is your charging handle, and also opens up the hop in there. So if you do want to adjust your hop, you can kind of like hang it down like this, put your finger in there, and then do your little hop adjustments inside. It does stay shut as well. I don't think there's a way to keep it open. No, there's no option to keep that open. You just have to pull it and then adjust it while you're holding it back. And it is on a very strong spring as well, so it's definitely going to be closing as soon as you let it go, if you know what I mean. And then to get the battery in, it goes in the front of the riff here. So this is your little flash hider. You've got your inner barrel, outer barrel in there. There's a little button at the bottom of it, and you press that in just like so, and then this comes up and out, and then your battery pushes in this little top bit there. And to get it out, you can lift this little tray, and then you can grab the battery out just like that. So you are very limited in terms of what batteries you can use. I expect there are other batteries out there on the market, but it does come with this 7.2 volt NIM battery. I'm not a fan of NIMs. I'm not a fan of 7 anything volt batteries, but that's the options that you've got. That's what you have here with the Rift. Because I'm not huge into this type, I haven't bothered to research what other types of batteries you can get that fit into this, but I would highly recommend you get a PEC box and get a battery that mounts in there. Maybe like a Titan Li-ion little like box one. You could probably be able to get a 11.1 volt Li-ion battery to go in a PEC box and then power it with that, and that's going to give you a much better power delivery, give you a faster rounds per second, and just overall probably a much better experience with the Rift. Plus, with the PEC box on the side, it's going to make it look cooler too. It will add more weight to it as well, and I can't stress how heavy this thing actually is. It genuinely is. Does the box say how heavy this is? 1-to-1 real scale, I doubt that, because airsoft ones are usually a little bit under scale for the MP7. Is the MP7 the only one that's the actual perfect scale? I think it is, because this flash hider is way too small. It doesn't say the weight, but guarantee it is bloody heavy. It does say on the box, what's it say? It says power/range 50 meters, velocity 278 feet per second, and the magazine has a capacity of 37 rounds, which I would say is quite a small capacity considering the size of this. Plus, it is a winding mag here, so I'd like to think that there's going to be more than 37 rounds in here. In order to do a quick test, because I'm not going to count each BB out individually, because that is just something that a madman would do, I'm going to put this loader here and see how many roughly, because these can hold like what, 90 round plus or 120 rounds, something like that. So I know that there's about 100-ish rounds in there. So if I've got 2/3 left, then we know this is an accurate assumption. And there's still loads of room in there. So I'd imagine this is actually going to be more of like a 120 round, 150 round magazine than the advertised 37. So maybe that's what a mid-cap magazine is for this Rift, but this anyway is definitely much more than 37. I'd say it's probably at least 2 to 3 times that amount minimum. So let's give this a bit of a wind. Let's just make sure this actually shoots first of all. Where's my eye protection? I'm putting on my blocks. These are new eye protection. I've not run them in a gameplay yet, but I will do at some point in the future. That works. It sounds great as well. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right, so we are wound on the mag. Let's see what FPS we get on there, again on 0.2 gram BBs. By the way, I get people asking me like, or saying in comments, why don't I go and shoot them at a range? And the answer is this: I don't have one. I don't have access to a range. When I move, I'll be able to go and shoot like in the garden probably and get like some kind of idea. But even then, it's not gonna be that far. And I'd rather get content out to you rather than rely on getting to like airsoft sites and shooting and doing target things and stuff like that. So I do apologize for not doing that. But generally speaking, like, you know, they're airsoft Rifts. As long as you know how to set the hop right and you're using the right weight BBs, then you're pretty much going to get the same performance across Rifts, okay? Right, so on safe, does it shoot? It does not. The safety works. Fantastic. Now, on single shot. So that's 0.36 joules, which is quite low. It's a bit excitable on semi. I'll give him that. I'm going to get rid of this front grip because it's just kind of not working. Yeah, so it's averaging at 0.33 joules. Not the most amazing. Let me see if I can adjust the hop and get a different result. Okay, I did manage to get to 0.38 there, which is more powerful. In the video that hasn't gone live yet or will be going live, I did a comparison between the Novrich and the SEMA pistols, like the Glock pistols that they kind of both do. And the SEMA was at 0.47 joules and the Novrich was at 0.48 joules. So those pistols are better than this at this point in time. Let me do a rounds per second test now as well, so we see what our RPS is. So rounds per second is 11.4 BBs, and that's fine. I mean, our RPS is for everybody's own taste. There's not a right or wrong answer for RPS. There's no like legal limit or requirement for RPS. That's like, you know, legal by law. But different sites do have different rules for the RPS. So go check out your sites before you go down with like a DSG or some mad 40 rounds per second beast. Just because the FPS is a little bit disappointing, does that mean I wouldn't recommend this gun? No, it doesn't actually. I actually would recommend this Rift for a very specific reason, and that would be to be used as a upgrade base. Now, if you're like big into your HPA or you love upgrading Rifts, this is a cheap base Rift for you to start with and for you to try out. Like if you want to upgrade, I mean, first of all, I think in here you probably want to look at like the cylinder just to see what's going on there. Because the FPS is so low, 75% of the advertised FPS on the box, which is, you know, quite a big drop between what it's supposed to be and where it's currently at. There could just be there's a leak in there. there. Maybe like it's shipped with a faulty cylinder, something like that, which is causing that issue. Am I going to take this apart to see what's going on inside? No. Sorry to be blunt about that. But what I do like about this is the fact it actually feels real still. Like if you're somebody that goes to play airsoft for that realism and doesn't want to go GBB, if you don't want to have that recoil on there, which I personally don't like because it brings inconsistencies into your own play, although I feel like there is definitely benefits there because it does feel cool and look cool. I have enough trouble as it is being accurate when I play airsoft. But if you want to have a cheap, sturdy base riff in order to put all your upgrades in and to build the riff that you want, then this actually is not a terrible option. I'd want to fix this foregrip though, because it doesn't stick up on its own at all. So I'd probably swap that out or replace it. I may even cut that bottom bit off and then mount a new Picatinny rail underneath and then put a vert grip on it like a stationary one. I'd want to put a better battery system in there as well. And yeah, the cylinder piston combination, something needs to change there in order to bring the power up on it, because I understand, you know, it is a machine pistol, but I would still want this to be at or as close to the FPS limit as possible to give me as much opportunity to play well in the field as possible. Because like I said, I need as much help as I can get. I don't need hindrances making it harder for me to actually get some kills. Airsoft kills, YouTube. Toy gun kills. So yeah, there you go. That is the Well MP7. It's heavy, it looks cool, performance isn't great, but it would make a great base gun for upgrades. Thanks to all my patrons for supporting the channel month after month. You are all fantastically wonderful people. Thank you very much. And a big shout out to you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, click that subscribe button. Even if you haven't enjoyed it, click the subscribe button. And then every time you see a video of mine come up, just watch it anyway. You know, there may be one eventually that you do like. And if there is, then at least you've been entertained and you're happy for that small amount of time. And I've helped you with that. So yeah, do that. And until next time, look after yourselves, remember to call your hits, and stay fresh.